Welcome back to the program. Now, some experts and curators say that the most exciting and interesting art at the moment is coming out of Asia.
So, are they right? Well, a brand new exhibition at the Singapore Art Museum gets you up to speed on the very latest works by internationally renowned Chinese artists.
That's why it's called Accelerate. The exhibition hopes to share fresh insights on the latest trends in Chinese contemporary art. And we have curator Patricia Levasseur here to tell us more about it. Good morning, Patricia. Thanks for joining us. If there are any misconceptions or, let's say, stereotyping, perceptions about Chinese contemporary art and artists, what would they be?
Actually, it is true that in the recent years, with the rise of the art market, we have kind of some new tendency with a kind of homogenization of the artwork in China, and a mentality maybe of quick profit and success. So actually the purpose of the exhibition is to take a distance from the art market and the standards of the art market to present another selection to the public in Singapore of art and art practices in China.
So how did this exhibition come about? I mean, how was it organized and what are you trying to focus on and why call it Accelerate? Accelerate to where?
Actually, the exhibition is a collaboration between the Singapore Art Museum and the NAMOC, the National Art Museum of China in Beijing. It's a part of long-term relationship, partnership with this institution. And as we brought some Southeast Asian art in Beijing, in counterpart, the NAMOC is bringing some Chinese contemporary art. So actually, Accelerate refers to the acceleration of the transformation that happened in China today, social and economic transformation.
So the artworks they have, perhaps they selected it, right? I guess they would have, and they sent it over.
Exactly.
Do they have an underlying theme, or did they just randomly select those of some names that are quite big in the region or up and coming to showcase here in Singapore?
They selected the artworks according to their ideas, and that's why three groups of artists are represented according to the themes that the NAMOC wanted to show in Singapore. That's why we have three groups of artists featured in the exhibition. The first group is more attached, still attached to some tradition and culture in China today. Okay. Second group of artists aims to track the changes, social and economic changes in China today. The globalization, the topic of globalization is very strong too, and the impact on the artists too. Then the third group of artists, that I should say more visionary maybe in some way, are working with new technologies as new expression of art, which is very, very amazing.
And I believe we have some works of art that you have picked out to tell us more about, such as this painting by Chao Jinping called One Day in Beihai. I think I said it right, Beihai. Yes. Now it seems to portray quite a bleak vision.
Actually, the landscape by Chao Jinping is an interesting mix between the Western trend of landscape and the Chinese trend of landscape. So the artist really wants to bring the visitor to another view of the landscape. When you take a distance from the painting, it appears like quite a photograph. It's very impressive. Then when you come just closer, you see all the brush strokes. It's really remaining some tradition of the Chinese painting.
If you look at these Chinese artists' works, do they make it a point to want the audience or the visitors to the museum see the way they see things, or is it just an outlet for them to express whatever they want to say?
Actually, for most of the artists featured, they really propose a dialogue with the visitor. And that's why some of the artworks actually are interactive artworks. So they just interact with the visitor there. So we have some 3D movie with glasses. You can just enter the artwork, which is quite interesting. Some other artworks just interact with some new technologies, tools that are
talking about technology, one of the artists would be Miao Xiaochun, and we've noticed that in his earlier artwork there was a lot of technology that was, perhaps blended in. Tell us more about that, the role of this.
So Miao Xiaochun is working with digital prints, so computer prints, and actually is reusing some old Western masters in the painting you see here. Actually, is extending all the painting with his own vision, its actualization vision of this Eden garden with all the issues that can be met today with the issues of the globalization. So you really have to take care and see all the details of the painting. It's amazing. And the artist is just placing his body as a shape of the painting. So when you look carefully, you see all the artists here presented with kind of issue that is thinking just striking the society today.
It looks as if it's quite large.
It's very large, actually. If I remember well, it's around 8 meters large. So you see here, it's more than 10 panels.
More than 10?
Exactly.
So you can immerse yourself in this art.
You immerse totally yourself. It's actually only one room is dedicated to this artwork.
Wow.
And it's very, very impressive. And you can spend at least 1 hour to look at all the small details and just, think about that.
Also, Chinese contemporary art, sometimes they have a social commentary. Do you think a lot of that is reflected in some of the works that are being displayed? I mean, recently they've had, the Olympics and the Paralympics. Do you see any of that being reflected in the works on display?
So there is one special work, it's a series of 3 works actually, by a group of artists called Tamen. So Tamen in Chinese, so there in English. And they are presenting 2 parts in their paintings, one outer view and one inner view. So each window is dedicated to the changes of China today. That's why you have some vision of changing Shanghai or changing Beijing, especially with the Olympic Stadium.
Right, the Olympics.
And then on the right part, it's more the inner vision of the artist who's just introducing himself into the painting. And if you see carefully, you will see a remaining character on the 3 paintings, just remaining that the artist is also an actor of these changes today.
And there's also one unusual artwork. It's an installation art piece by Chang Genghua entitled 1750 Mountainside. Tell us more about this artwork and how it stands out.
So Cheng Henghua is an artist from Taiwan, actually, and he's working with art. He has this idea of a machine of art. So it's amazing work. The artist just work with some animated steel sculpture, which interact with the visitor. You come close to the artwork. It's just moving on the right and on to the left. It's just remaining some insects like you can see in fly. So you have either the sound, the light, and the reaction of the insect when you
So it's like
come
a
close.
whole sensory, multi-sensory
Exactly, exactly. So everything is really related to the relation between the visitor and the artwork.
So with so many different types of artists, with different medium and ways of expressing, Chinese art, what do you actually hope that visitors will get, will get from, viewing such a thing, after leaving the exhibition?
So exhibition would like to show that contemporary Chinese art is very complex. It's more complex than what we can see through the channel of the art market, for sure. It's very diverse, it's very challenging too. And there are artists that really have a lot of concepts, still a lot of concept and idea to share and to develop. And actually we want the visitors coming to the museum to share this dialogue started by the artist and to give in such way a new vision, a new opinion, a new point of view of what is art and especially Chinese contemporary art today.
All right.
Wow, lots to immerse in this
Yourself
exhibition.
in, it will be a good art education tour. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. If you want to see more of the artworks, Accelerate Chinese Contemporary Art, it is on until the 26th of October at the Singapore Art Museum.
And this exhibition is presented with the help of the National Art Museum of China and Credit Suisse. Well, you can get more details from the museum's website, and there you have it, the address at the bottom of your screen.
Singart.com. We've come to the end of Primetime Morning this Friday, 19th of September. We'll be back tomorrow with another, actually next week.
I'm going to take a day off tomorrow. You can come back and work, actually.
Next week with more exciting show. But tomorrow we are back on air. We've got Primetime Morning, the lighter side.
That's right. That's what you meant, right?
All the highlights of the week. So do